Today, Houston marches alongside the family of George Floyd. The march starts at 3 p.m. at Discovery Green. Our Janelle Fort joins us live. And Janelle, organizers hope this will be the biggest peace march yet.
Yeah, Steph, organizers say they expect thousands of people to come out and flood the streets of downtown Houston this afternoon. Organizers have said that today is really all about honoring George Floyd's life and standing in solidarity with his family. Here in Houston, which is Floyd's hometown, the majority of the marches and protests we've seen have been largely peaceful comparative to other cities across the nation. And both organizers and city leaders are hoping to keep it that way this afternoon. The march, it starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon at Discovery Green and ends at City Hall. And as you mentioned, George Floyd's family is expected to be out here today. Each time they've spoken with the media, they've stressed that they want these rallies to be peaceful, and they say that's an important part of making sure the message of these marches gets across and change is enacted.
My family is a peaceful family. My family is God-fearing.
Well, I think people should call their local councilmen, councilwomen. I think people should write their congressmen and congresswomen and make sure that your elected officials are doing something to combat this kind of injustice.
Now, in anticipation of today's march, many businesses and buildings here in downtown Houston will close early. There are also going to be a number of street closures. We've got all the information about that on our website right now at khou.com. And then finally, Police Chief Art Acevedo says that HPD will be out here in full force, making sure that things stay orderly. Sending it back to you guys in the studio.
And we certainly hope that's the case. Janelle, thank you for that update. And breaking overnight, another night of anger and unrest across the country. Some protests turning violent overnight. A police officer was shot during a protest in Las Vegas, and another officer was involved in a shooting nearby. Protesters stormed the streets of downtown Louisville, Kentucky after police shot and killed a black restaurant owner. It happened while the National Guard was enforcing a curfew. Police say someone from the crowd shot at officers, then they returned fire, killing David McAtee. After the incident, the mayor fired the police chief because none of the officers involved turned on their body cameras. Protesters also clashed with police in other cities as things got physical from Seattle to New York. A Florida officer was fired after he pushed a female protester who was kneeling with her hands up. Others were caught on camera attacking police in the chaos. But things here in Texas were more peaceful. In Fort Worth, officers got off their bikes and took a knee. Some protesters even rushed in to hug them.
President Trump called on states to crack down on those protests, even threatening to deploy military domestically if governors don't send in the National Guard.
Today, I have strongly recommended to every governor to deploy the National Guard in sufficient numbers that we dominate the streets. If a city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, then I will deploy the United States military and quickly solve the problem for them.
Moments before the president's statement, police fired tear gas at crowds gathered outside the White House gates. Once President Trump wrapped up, he visited the nearby historic St. John's Church, and hundreds of you commented on this story when we shared it on our Facebook page. A lot of them are unusable. They're not constructive in any way, just a lot of name calling and misinformation. So I'm sticking with these two, which kind of illustrate each side of the argument here. Some folks like Lindy say they're concerned about the U.S. military being deployed against U.S. citizens, but Julia says she's for it. She says it's time for the destruction and violence to stop. Steph?
Brandy, thank you. Meanwhile, Governor Abbott also made a statement about the protests. Plus, the results are in for the personal autopsy of George Floyd. Those are two of the day's other big stories.
It was homicide. That's what George Floyd family attorney Ben Crump revealed to the world yesterday as he announced brand new independent autopsy results. Pathologists hired by the Floyd family determined Floyd died from mechanical asphyxia after an officer pinned his knee on his neck for more than 8 minutes and two other officers pinned their knees to his back.
New details on funeral plans for Floyd. A public viewing and funeral will take place here in Houston next Monday and Tuesday. More information should be available later this week. Memorials are also scheduled in Minneapolis Thursday and North Carolina, where Floyd was born, Saturday. Boxer Floyd Mayweather wants to handle the costs of all those memorial events. He reached out to George Floyd's family, and they accepted. Governor Abbott sends a message to protesters. He announced anyone who comes from out of state to engage in looting, violence, or other destructive acts will face federal prosecution. And those are the big stories on this Tuesday morning.
We will continue to follow the George Floyd case, and you can also follow the story on our website, KHOU.com, and also on our mobile app.